Okay, welcome everybody to our campfire chat. We are talking about inclusion at day camp. I love that it's snowing outside. I have little campfire marshmallow candle ready, and it's fun to be talking camp while it's cold and snowy outside. Um, I'm Tracy Levine. I'm the director of One Happy Camper New Jersey, which is the hub for Jewish camp at the Jewish Federation of Greater Metro West New Jersey. Our goal is to encourage and enable local youth to attend Jewish camp and summer programs. We give guidance to choosing the right camp, as well as grants and scholarships for overnight campers, and we help with scholarships for day camps as well. And we believe that there truly is a great Jewish camp for every child. I'm here with my colleague, Rebecca Winetic, who was our Community Inclusion Manager for our Jewish Federation. Our Jewish Federation's Greater Metro West ABLE department envisions a community made whole by the meaningful inclusion of all its members, with opportunities for access to all aspects of Jewish communal life. Becca is an experienced special educator, inclusion camp professional, and now works with individuals, families, synagogues, partner agencies, schools, and camps to help create this inclusive environment for our entire Greater Metro West community. We are going to be joined shortly by some wonderful colleagues from our community JCC camps, as well as some wonderful camp families and staff. This is a webinar, so we don't see all of you that have joined. However, we definitely want this to be engaging, and we welcome you to post questions in the chat or in the Q&A. My colleagues, Jerry Russo, Jerry Wallace, are behind the scenes, and if you're watching on Facebook, we're also keeping an eye there. And if by chance we don't get to questions that you post tonight, we will certainly follow up, and that's the plan. So first, Becca and I are going to give a little background, talking about finding a camp and the inclusion process. We're then going to hear from the two camps about their inclusion models, and then importantly hear from the families and the staff members, have a little time for questions, and close with a video that I think you will all really enjoy. So I will start off by saying camps are very optimistic about summer 2021, and we are so glad that both of the camps here tonight, Camp Yachad and Camp Dini Ribak, did run successfully in summer 2020 as well. However, there will certainly be revised policies and parameters, and so not all programs and all options may be available. And in addition, it is likely, and the plan is for capacity to be more limited, especially for younger kids. So we really encourage you to reach out if you are interested in camp as soon as possible. Myself and Becca are happy to give guidance on camps, and the camps are happy, as you'll hear, to talk with you, work with you, but certain age groups are already at capacity and waitlisted, so there is some time sensitivity. But this is a great time, and this is a great start, is being on this call. And as I said, the directors, the inclusion staff are available to talk with you. I really encourage that. I encourage you to talk with other families, follow camps on social media, and really learn about camp in as many ways as possible. And again, the fact that you're watching us here, whether you're watching live or you're watching this as a recording, you're making the first step, and that's great because it is a bit of an iterative process, and please know that we're here to support you. So I'm going to now turn this over to Becca, who's going to talk a little bit about the different models of inclusion at day camp.
Thanks, Tracy. And thank you everybody who joined us tonight to learn more about our inclusive camp models. There are a variety of different models for inclusion programs at camp. We have, within the community, there are just some designated special needs programs for campers in other private camps. Our two JCC day camps, I'm really proud to say, are the two community day camps that have full inclusion models. The other camps in the community don't seem to have that, and it's something that we're really, really proud of. Our inclusion models offer one-to-one advocate or a shadow support, an additional staff member to be able to support our campers with higher support needs. And Camp Yachad also has a vocational skills program that I'm sure they're going to tell you a little bit more about. In typical summers, you can also look to rookie days at our camp so that you can get kind of a taste of the day camps as well. We have today some camp experts with us who are going to share a little bit more about their camp programs. So I'd like to welcome Mallory and Beth and Dana to come on the screen. Mallory Zipkin is the director of Camp Yachad. Beth Mitchell is the Director of Inclusion and Diversity for JCC of Central New Jersey. Both work to provide programs and services to our community to support children, teens, and young adults with disabilities. And Dana Gottfried is a Director of JCC Metro West's Camp Jeannie Reback and has been in professional camping for more than 16 years. Dana started her camping career in special needs inclusion while working at the Cook Center for Learning and Development in New York City and running special needs programming for youth and adults at the 92nd Street Y. Dana's goal is to make sure that any camper who needs additional support to succeed at camp receives it. So I'm going to pose a couple questions to the group. I'm going to start with Mallory and Beth. Would you take a minute to explain a little bit more about what Camp Yachad offers overall, and then the inclusion support options that you have at camp? Why don't you start there, and you can talk about the different age groups and offerings that you have.
Sure. Thanks, Becca and Tracy, for having us. At Camp Yachad, we offer a variety of experiences for all campers. Our youngest campers are 24 months old, and our oldest campers are entering 9th grade. We really meet kids where they're at. We live our camp days based on a strong sense of values. Yachad rocks, that stands for Ruach, which is spirit, opportunity, community, kindness, and strength. And those values really guide everything that we do. We offer traditional day camp. We offer some specialty programs like performing arts, sports, and techie. And as our campers get older, we offer a really exciting travel camp program. Pre-COVID, we had about 850 campers at Camp Yachad. Since then, our capacity has definitely reduced a bit, but we're looking forward to a really exciting and bigger summer than last year, this coming summer. I'm so proud of the inclusion programs that we offer at Camp Yachad. Like Becca mentioned, we have an award-winning shadow program where campers with varying special needs are part of our program with a one-on-one support in a group with their typical peers. Each camper's experience at Yachad is different and catered to their success, tailored to their goals, and supported by Beth, who's our year-round inclusion director, a woman named Jen, who I think is on our call tonight as well, watching. Hi, Jen, who's our seasonal inclusion director, and supported in partnership with Becca, who's hosting us tonight too. We've got a great team on that program. A few years ago, we also made the decision to think about the campers in our shadow program who were growing up and ready for a staff experience along with their peers. We recognized that while we were doing a great job of running a shadow program for them as, eligible camper age, that once they became CIT age and were entering high school with their peers, we did not have options for them in the same way. And this didn't speak well to what we, felt true to ourselves in terms of our inclusion. So we built the skills training program, and that started with just one participant and has gotten as big as 10. And in that program, teens and young adults work on our staff, earn a salary, have evaluations, progress reports, and work as assistants in our specialty areas, mentored by our specialists who are mostly teachers. And that program was created and has been staffed by Jordan Spencer, who I believe is also joining us as a participant tonight. Hi, Jordan. Thank you for your efforts. Lee Abramson, and Beth supports that as well. We are super proud of that program and look forward to continuing to expand it in the future. I'm going to let Beth tell you a little bit about all the wonderful things that are going on at our JCC outside of camp, though, in the world of inclusion.
Thank you, Mallory. Thank you, Becca and Tracy, for having us tonight. We're so happy to be here. As Mallory mentioned, there are so many wonderful things going on in Camp Yachad, but there are lots of other things going on around the JCC in terms of inclusion programming. Throughout the pandemic, the JCC has really continued to prioritize our inclusion programs, and we continue to provide in-person opportunities. Starting with camp and moving into our early childhood program, which is fully inclusive. And as a response to childcare needs during the pandemic, we opened up an all-day with the J program that provides a place for school-aged children to come, get support, and be supervised as they're working through their virtual school day. We're really proud to report that 20% of the children that are attending our All Day with the J program or aftercare are children with IEPs and 504s. So we are really thrilled to have them in this program, and we're working alongside with parents and consulting with districts to make sure that they're successful when they're with us during virtual learning. In addition to that, we are offering a robust swim program. We have adaptive swim, we have swim teams, and partner with Special Olympics with the Mighty Ducks. We are anticipating offering adaptive yoga and adaptive fitness this spring, so we're really looking forward to that as well. In addition to our in-person programming, we're also supporting families, and we are partnering with the Jewish Family Services of Central New Jersey, and we are offering caregiver support groups to parents who need someone to connect with. We're also offering monthly webinars that provide education and support opportunities. We're going to be hearing from some of our Greater Metro West partners towards the end of the year in those webinars, so we hope you'll join us for those as well. And we just want to make sure that everyone is included, and we're happy to provide accommodations. So that's a little bit about what's going on at the JCC outside of camp.
Thank you so much, Mallory and Beth. We really appreciate learning more about your programs. And I'm going to shift to Dana now and Camp Deanie Reback. Dana, if you could tell us a little bit about the inclusion program at CDR and how you help families to assess if it's the right fit for their camper to join your program. You're still muted. Zoom happens.
Camper, not a tech person.
No worries.
Thank you, everyone. Tracy, Becca, everybody for making these talks happen. It's just such another amazing way for us to make camp more accessible to our families and reach that goal. So thank you. Camp Deanie Reback, we have just celebrated our 50th summer, and we're a property at campgrounds that's located actually in Flanders, New Jersey, connected to the JCC Metro West, which is located in West Orange, New Jersey. So most of our campers come from Morris and Essex counties, and we bus them in on a daily basis, Monday through Friday. Our youngest campers, our little guys, they start at 3.5 years old, and our oldest campers entering our LIT Leaders in Training program are entering 10th grade. So our Camp Friends program is a special program that is our inclusion program at camp, and we work with campers in all age ranges at CDR. So we love the fact that we can welcome a family into camp in our youngest junior village area, which is designed for our littlest campers. So everything at camp, especially when you're going to a new property, can be big and bold and exciting, but our junior village area allows our campers at any level to really be able to grasp where they are and enjoy all the wonderful things that camp has to offer on their level. Our Camp Friends program starts at our youngest age group at 3.5 and goes all the way until our entering our upper camp program, and also sometimes into our Leaders in Training program. Our program design is a one-on-one model. So our campers are in a group, a regular camp group with about 10 to 12 campers per group and 3 to 2 counselors per group. But we have an additional staff member that we refer to as a camper advocate, whose goal is to be able to really work with that camper and their family to really bring out the best of that camper self over the summer. We strive to do whatever we can to support somebody who needs it, to provide the support for someone who needs the extra help to make a summer successful for them. We really believe that, you know, it's not about is the camp the right fit is the camper the right fit for camp, but is the camp there, I'm sorry, I really believe that there's no camper, is the camper right fit for the camper, but is the, I'm sorry, I'm going in circles, I'm just gonna move on, I'm a little tongue-tied today. But when it comes to finding the right program, it's really about asking the questions. So when we talk to parents and families about, is this the right place for your camper, and are we able to provide the support that your camper needs, we really like to have a deep conversation and have visits. So to kind of touch on Becca's question of how, when you're looking for new camps and you're looking for a place that can really be helpful and supportive to your camper, it's really finding ways, like, does your camper feel comfortable there when you're taking a tour? Does the staff allow you to share all the things and feel confident that they can meet the needs and the goals that you have as a family for your camper? When you're talking to a new director, I can't stress, ask as many questions as possible. That's what we're here for. We are happy to talk for hours on the phone and meet multiple times with a family and to see if someone's comfortable in a situation. And I talk to families all the time and say, you know, it's a new adventure for you. You know, the Camp Yachad and Camp Zini Rebak are both fabulous programs, but they have very different elements to them. Some campers need more of a four walls situation in the summer, and some campers thrive in an environment where they can just feel that there are no walls and they have lots of space. So it's really dependent on the family, and what we try to do is bring those needs out in our conversations with families, and not just say we have an inclusion program and it's for campers with special needs, but we have an inclusion program that's there to support anyone, give anyone extra support to be successful during the summer. We ask to, you know, a camp should really be talking with not only the family, but a camp director typically asks to talk to the additional service providers and teachers when talking with these conversations with new families. You know, we really want to know what are the needs to be successful, because if we know those, we can try to provide those during the summer. And the more information we have, the more support we can provide. If, you know, a lot of times I hear a family say, we really want a fresh start in the summer. We want school to be school and camp to be camp, which is exactly what it is. School is school and camp is camp, but sometimes our needs don't change. You know, the accommodations and things that make us successful in school, they don't disappear when we go away for the summer, we go to a day camp for the summer. So the more information you can provide to a camp director or a coordinator when you're looking at these programs, the more you're going to set your camper up for success during the summer. And that is where we find that's the sweet spot. That's the way to really make sure that you're connecting with the right camp for your camper and your family as well. You know, for us, it's to kind of go, I'm hopping a little bit around, I apologize, but I will say that our camp is on a wooded property, again in Flanders, and we offer a wide range of activities for all the ages from 3.5 to entering 10th grade. We are a little bit smaller than Yachad. We have about 400 campers in a normal summer. Last summer was smaller, of course. And we also have a small group philosophy. So already a camper is entering into a group of maybe up to 15 in the larger, older groups, but typically 10 to 12 campers with 2 to 3 staff and their additional support. So we really believe in providing that extra handholding, but not just for the camper during camp days, but also throughout the year and for the family, and working with Federation and our other community partners to really make sure that our family is set up for success. Because on August 20th, when it's our last day of camp, it's just the last day on property. Our relationship continues throughout the year and hopefully for many, many years ongoing with the family at the GCC.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all three of you for sharing more about your camp programs. We really appreciate that. Now we have several families and staff members who are going to hop on and share a little bit more about their experiences. Dana and Mallory, I'm going to have you introduce the guests that you invited tonight, and then I know you each have a couple questions for them. Dana, go ahead. Why don't you start?
Oh, okay, great. So hi, Sarah. Everyone, this is Sarah Simon. I am so excited that she is here with us this evening. Sarah is not only a camp mom of 3 boys, one of them being one of our campers in our Camp Friends program, but she is also a staff member. She is the director, one of our aquatics directors, specifically in our Junior Village section of camp. And I couldn't think of a better person who I think has such a strong connection to CDR to talk about camp.
And we are so lucky to have the Kent family. We have Katrina, Sean, and Oliver. Hi, guys.
Hello, how are
And
you?
little sister Cece, not on screen, but we can't forget her too.
Celia, come over here.
Oliver and Cece are campers at Yachad and are going to tell you a little bit about their experiences in our programs. And we also are privileged tonight to have Rabbi Avi Friedman and Jonah Friedman. Jonah has been a long lifetime Camp Yachader. He started as a camper and has participated as a staff person in our skills program for Jonah. I don't even know how many years now. I want to say at least 4, right?
I think last summer would have been 4.
Yeah.
3.
So a wonderful ambassador to our program. So thank you, Friedmans. Thank you, Kents, for being here. I think we're going to go back to Dana first, but we'll chat in a few.
Awesome. So Sarah, I have some very important questions for you.
I'm ready.
Awesome. All right. So let's talk about the parent perspective for a minute. You know, when you were originally bringing your kids, figuring out it's time to start engaging them in a summer opportunity, especially, you know, having all of your children having very different personalities and different needs. Where did you start? What was your search process like? How did you end up with us?
So my kids are actually 2nd generation Camp Deanie Reback. My husband and his brother and sister were Camp Flanders kids growing up. And I think my husband said he was a camp counselor at Yachad for 2 summers, which we all laugh because I can't see him as camp counselor, but you know, it's been home for us. So when my oldest, who's 11 now, was graduating preschool, I knew I didn't want to have him spend the summer there again. And so naturally, my mother-in-law said, Camp Deanie Reback, you got to go to camp. That's where the kids went. And so I went to my first info session and it was like, I was a camp kid growing up in Connecticut. And it was just, I was like, this is it. This is home. This is where we know we're going. So 2 years later, 2 or 3 years later, when Matt, who is my Camp Friends kid, was ready to go, we knew Matt was a little, you know, he's always been rocking to his own beat and everything, but we were like, we can do this. This is a great staff. You know, we feel comfortable sending him. And, you know, we just kind of made home there. It wasn't until you and I were sitting together one day in your office many times. And I said, you know, I'm really concerned about Matt. He wasn't in Camp Friends yet, but you know, he's ADHD, he's got fine motor delays, he's not coordinated, he has sensory processing problems. I'm really concerned when he goes to Roehm, which is going into 1st grade, he's going to be traveling back and forth across camp. I'm really concerned because my child has gotten lost a couple times. So what do you think we could do? And that's when you and I really started to talk about the Camp Friends program. And I said, oh, he's not eligible for that. And you said, well, wait a minute. We have to talk about what Camp Friends really is. And it was a real natural fit for Matt. So that was, I mean, you know, and then at that point, the baby was coming and for the summer. So
Everybody. And exactly right. And that's what I really feel like is such a something I think is so well said, Sarah, is that there's no cookie cutter to anybody. And especially when you're looking at these inclusion programs, because our goal is to support you and whatever that may be. And so the need was there and we said, let's make it happen. What are the benefits that you think you've seen with Matt being in the Camp Friends program versus, because you've seen him in the program and you've seen him when he hasn't had an advocate at camp as part of the Camp Friends program. So can you talk a little bit about what the benefits that you've seen have been?
So what's awesome is, so when Matt has an advocate, and what I love about our advocates is that no one outside of the camper and the advocate know that they belong to each other. To the rest of the kids, it's just another counselor in the group. They have a bonus counselor and they love that. So, but for Matt, he frustrates easily and he gets upset quickly. Or when there's, you know, when we're doing the egg toss, Matt happens to have an egg allergy and his advocate was like, there's eggs, we're out of here, you know. So there's someone who's watching out for him, and it allows Matt to be more Matt-tastic. You know, when I ask him, what do you love the most about camp besides the pool? I mean, obviously, besides the pool, is he's always said to me, I can just be me. I don't have to worry about sitting in my seat. I don't have to worry about following the group. I can walk in a zigzag. I don't have to walk in a straight line. I can just be me. And that's what I love so much about it. You know, he's had 2 different advocates for the 2 years he's been in it, and they've both been so fantastic. You know, just, you know, talking to me before camp starts, you know, or me talking to whoever our inclusion coordinator is and just saying, here's some of his little quirks, or when he gets upset, here are some things to redirect him that, you know, can make the day better. And, you know, one thing that they've always done for him is when he thinks he's not part of the group, or no one wants to play with him, or no one wants to work with him because he's so anxious, is that they ask the group, hey, Matt needs someone to work with. And the kids are all climbing over each other to work with each other. Or in the video that I think we'll see, when he was going down the slide at the pool, or he's catching the ball in the pool, everyone's cheering. And that's not just because he's a Camp Friends kid, that's just the CDR way.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I really appreciate your sharing. I want to jump over to Camp Yachad and give the staff and the families there an opportunity to be able to share as well. Mallory, it's all yours.
Thank you. That was so great, Sarah. Thank you for that. And it sounds similar to some of our stuff that I think we're going to talk about. I'm actually going to go off order here and jump right in with you, Rabbi Friedman and Jonah, if that's okay. So, you know, you guys have the unique opportunity of everyone on this call of having experienced inclusion for Jonah in multiple ways at camp. I'd love to hear from you, Rabbi Friedman, a little bit about how that's been as the parent. And Jonah, when he's done, I'd love to hear from you, you know, what have been the most special things or some of your favorite memories from Camp Yachad?
So I'll just say that we have 4 kids, all of whom have been a part of the Camp Yachad family in one way or another as campers or staff. So Jonah's one of 4. When we moved here to Summit, 16 years ago, you know, we felt like for our typical kids, we could just like kind of wait and see and what community programs and, you know, enroll them when we got here. But we knew for Jonah, we couldn't take a chance. We needed the right program. So from Pittsburgh, we reached out to Camp Yachad, and without ever meeting Jonah, without asking to see an IEP or anything else, Camp Yachad said yes. And we had not yet closed on our house. So we pulled up our car and parked in front of a house that we did not yet own. And the Camp Yachad bus pulled up also, and a bright, cheery counselor popped off the bus and said, "Hi, Jonah, we're going to Camp Yachad." And off Jonah went. And that was really the beginning of a love affair that has lasted ever since. And so, yeah, Jonah's going to read something. I asked him just, how he feels about Camp Yachad and what he likes about Camp Yachad, and you'll hear what he has to say. And he can basically say it better than I can. But I will tell you that when Camp Yachad came up with this, this program so that Jonah could follow in his cousins and in his siblings' footsteps and be a staff person at Camp Yachad, that just blew us away. And that made us realize that he really was just like all the other campers, because you were thinking about him and planning for him and including him just like all the other campers. So let me turn it over to Jonah so that he can share with you what he is thinking about in terms of Camp Yachad. Nice and slow, right?
I always nice to slow. I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Because I'm being on time.
Exactly.
So I always like to meet new campers and new staff at Camp Yachad. I also like to, when I see the people I know from past years. I am an assistant specialist at camp. I have had a lot of different jobs at camp. I helped lead a basketball and soccer for camp. I was from staff. I helped out with Trouble Jam. That was my favorite. Once the art is not my favorite, but I did it. I feel comfortable at Camp Yachad. Everybody is very happy, including me. It's me. Everybody should go to Camp Yachad and don't forget your water bottle and sunscreen because I don't want you to get sunburned easily. So that's very important. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just have to say, Jonah, some of my best memories from Camp Yachad have been dancing with you at Shabbat and through all ages and stages of your life.
I think that's in the video, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, seeing you up on stage with Mike Goldstein, our executive director, and dancing with your friends, arm in arm. So thank you for sharing that. And I'm proud that you shared that art wasn't your favorite, but that you did it anyway, because I think that speaks to a lot about who you are and how much you've grown in this program too. So I appreciate that you shared that as well. Thank you. So, yeah.
Every Thursday, dunk the wheel.
Dunk the whale. Yep, you're right. Our favorite staff tradition where we dunk or get a different staff member wet every Thursday. Jonah, you've been dunked before, right? Did you get water poured on your head?
I once it twice with my friend Jack up here. Yes.
Jack, yep, that's right. I remember. Well, thank you for sharing that. So next, I'm going to jump over to Katrina and Sean. Kent, thanks again for being here. Oliver and Cece's parents.
Yes.
So Katrina and Sean, if you could tell us a little bit similar to what Sarah spoke about, what was the decision-making process like for you guys, I guess, initially in choosing camp for both Oliver and Cece, and then later deciding sort of together in partnership with us to put Oliver into our shadow program. And how has that affected him and your family and his growth?
Well, when we were looking for a camp to begin with, he had been doing the aftercare at the J. And so one of the things about his first year when he was a kindergartner is a lot of difficulties that he had that we hadn't quite realized were as challenging as they were starting to crop up. And he was having a lot of trouble with school. And ADHD was a huge factor in that. That's something we didn't realize he had to the extent that he did. And the aftercare part of his day sort of became like the respite for him. That was the time. At first, it was a little rocky because it was just, he had to not only go from school to get on a bus to go to another place. It took a little while, but ultimately he ended up really feeling at home in aftercare. He made friends and he was really more confident, and it was a much more positive experience. So he looked forward to it. He looked forward to going to the J. So when we thought about camp, it was a natural fit because so many of the people who are part of aftercare also sort of play a role.
It's such a community.
Yeah.
It's such a community, and it just felt like he, from the day, like Sean's saying, like when he first started in aftercare as a kindergartner, he was sort of embraced for who he is,
Yeah.
without any, without him having to, he could really be himself, which was something that we really loved. And so it was a natural for us to choose Camp Yahad, and he's just had the best experiences with you all.
There was never a day we'd drop him off for camp that he didn't want to be going to camp, ever. Not once.
Thank you.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as he started to grow and get into, I would say, second grade, I think it was second grade where we made the decision to for him to do the shadow program. And much like Sarah was talking about before, I hesitated a little bit because I wasn't sure if it would, him having a dedicated shadow would change the camp experience for him or the kids around him. And everything, Mallory assured us at the time, like, it's just an extra counselor in the group. And I mean, what a difference it made for him and for us as a family to have that dedicated shadow support for him starting in second grade. I think it just really helped him fit in better and navigate the day better.
And try things he wouldn't try otherwise. I mean, like, we say let him be himself, but he's also introduced to all kinds of like basketball and karate and swimming. Like, he does love the swimming. He loves to go to the pool. But there are other things that he sometimes does all the activities. Sometimes he does some of the activities, but having the shadow helps and it enables him to do more.
I think it really helped him start to really build his confidence more. And then we saw that expand with him last year at Camp Yahad, even despite all of the different things that were different because it was COVID. So it's just ended up working out so well, and we're so glad that we made that decision with our with the guidance and the support with the staff at the J and Camp Yahad.
Thank you. And I know we're running out of time, but I just want to also say that Oliver has grown and, had a great year with us in our All Day at the J program that Beth mentioned earlier. And I love seeing him every day in our hallways on swim days and, coming up the hallway from the pool and, visiting, by my office. And he's such a joyful kid. And I agree with what you said that, the JCC is really home for him. And it really has been a beautiful journey to see that happen. So thanks for trusting us and for choosing us, because we love both of your kids. So thank you.
It's been just the best. We're so thankful and grateful.
Thank you. So I know we're running out of time, but I want to just turn it over really quickly again to my colleague Beth, just to share a little bit about how we train our staff and just like sort of what goes into that process for us.
Sure. Thank you, Mallory. I'm happy to speak to that. We take staff training very, very seriously for both our shadow program and our skills training program. I'm sure as Rabbi Friedman and the Kents can attest, there's a lot of planning that goes into these programs. So the first thing that we do is reach out to our families. We talk to them about their child's strength, their interests, and of course, their areas of need. We do a really thorough intake process, and we then take that information and start to prepare actively for the summer. So perhaps your child is a child that has difficulty transitioning, and they might benefit from a picture schedule. We will create that picture schedule so they know exactly where they're going throughout the day to help that transition process. We also work with our staff extensively before camp even begins to make sure that they understand the strengths and the needs of their assigned camper. We work on general strategies to support inclusion. We also work on strategies to step back. Part of the beauty of this program is that counselors will step in when needed and step back in order to allow the kids to be independent and grow and achieve those skills that everybody wants them to see happen. So we work a lot on that as well. In terms of connecting with their campers, Typically, in a typical summer, the campers and their counselors will do a meet and greet. We will talk with them before camp begins. They might see some of their staff at a bus run, dropping off their backpacks. So we really try to lay that foundation and create that connection before camp even begins. And I think perhaps the most important part is that we are in constant contact with our families, with support providers like therapists. We really value the communication, and that's what makes the program successful, is that communication and the care we put into providing that training so the kids can be their most successful from day one.
Thank you so much. I want to thank Rabbi Friedman and Jonah and the Kents as well for sharing more about their experiences from Camp Yachad, and to our camp leadership as well, to Dana, Mallory, and Beth. And again, thank you to Sarah for joining us tonight. We have a really exciting video that's going to be coming up. I think Tracy's going to come back on and join us.
Hi, guys. Yeah, thank you so much. So great to hear from the staff, from the families, and really wonderful. So just a couple of closing things to mention. That first of all, if cost is a concern, please know that our camps and JCCs do offer need-based scholarships. Also, Perform Care is potentially accessible for Camp Dini Reback and JCC Metro West. Becca can provide more info on that, and we will send everyone our contact information. Becca and I in the greater Metro West New Jersey community are available to give one-on-one guidance. We are also posting, and we'll send a link to a guide to choosing a camp for campers with special needs. And if by chance anyone has kids that they're thinking about overnight camp for, we did a similar chat last night for overnight camp. And we also have a VIP session coming up and a Sleepaway Camp 101 session. So we'll let you know about that as well. We now have a great video where you will see some of the campers and staff that you heard about. And we will close with that. We thank everybody for attending, and I am going to share that now. Thanks, summer, everybody.